Welcome. Welcome to the second Illuvium economic update. We did our first one a couple of weeks ago before the Illuvium private beta went live. So the plan was to wait 2 weeks, which it is. It's just been 2 weeks. The plan was to wait 2 weeks and see how the update has affected the economy in Illuvium and see if there's anything new we can talk about. There are a few little things to go over. There haven't been any drastic changes. The land has been fluctuating depending on the tier, but we'll go over that later. So what else? We're going to have a quick look at the Bitcoin chart, the Illuvium chart. Why do we look at the Bitcoin chart? We're only interested in Illuvium. Well, the whole market is bonded to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's having a good day, the whole market's going to have a good day. And Illuvium's no different in that regard. So we'll jump straight over to our Bitcoin chart. If I've set everything up right. Here we go. Okay, so this is our Bitcoin chart. This blue line here I've got at the bottom is our current 60-day cycle. This little dip here was the first candidate for the 60-day cycle to end. And because we've only trended sideways since then, or we pumped back up and trended sideways, it's unclear as to whether or not we've entered a new cycle or whether we're still in the cycle that started back here on 20th of March. So what's going to happen? I don't know, but it's going to happen soon. So we're either going to have a little pump up or the cycle's going to actually drop below this point here and set a new cycle low, which might be our second candidate for the start of a new cycle. So knowing that, well, it doesn't really tell us much, does it? It's more of a hindsight indicator. It's something I like to look at. But as you can see in this chart, we're still clearly in a downtrend. And until we break this point here, which is about 67,000, Bitcoin is still in a downtrend. Even though we've only gone sideways for the last couple of days. So what does that mean for Illuvium? The same thing. I'm on weekly here. We'll go to daily. So this is our daily chart. It's still in a downtrend. Now this might be a surprise to some of you because you might have been expecting a pump with the successful release of the private beta 4. Yeah, that would have been nice, but Bitcoin's still in a downtrend, so the market will follow. And I think to an extent at the moment, while it was a successful release, the people currently playing the game are the people who already believed and are already invested in Illuvium. It hasn't brought too many new eyes to the market. Might be making people pay a little bit more attention, and the people that are already into it focus a little bit more. I know I definitely have been. So yeah, the Illuvium token is down at $80 at the moment, and just a day ago it hit $76, which is that's a really good price. If you're late to the market and you're only getting in now, yeah, now's the time to buy. I mean, it's all it's going to take is for Bitcoin to turn bullish again, and yeah, we're going to get some massive green candles in Illuvium, assuming they don't mess up any of the releases. And so far, they don't have a track record of messing up any kind of, well, very few things get messed up with the Illuvium team. They're very good at what they do, and yeah, they're all very committed and don't seem to make too many mistakes. Definitely haven't seen a major mistake in a long time, so that's good news. So let's jump over to the Illuvidex. This is probably the most important thing at the moment as far as the Illuvium economy is concerned, other than the token itself. So that's the land price. And if we jump over to our analytics page first, which is this button here, it'll change in a second. There we go. So as I've said previously, most of this information is pretty useless if you can't sort it by tiers. But what we can see is the sales volume. So in the last 7 days, 42 ETH have been used to purchase Illuvium land. Now that's up by 4x on what it was 2 weeks ago. From memory, it'd be at least around 4x. I think it was 8 ETH over 7 days, just 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot more people moving land around at the moment. So that's positive. And if there's more people buying land, that means prices are going up because there's no new buyers on the market. There's only 20,000 plots of land, so they haven't minted any new land yet. So first we'll take a look at Tier 1, and Tier 1's been pretty astonishing as far as movements in price. We were at around 0.16 ETH for a T1 plot, and it has been around the 0.19 range for the last couple of days now. I think it actually went over 0.19 for a little bit, and it's come back to 0.18, which is at the very top of the tier 1 trading range that I've seen over the last few months. So we might see a new high for tier 1 land very soon. I don't usually look at the USDC price. I'm more interested in the ETH price. Saying that, ETH is down in value, so maybe that's why it's trading higher. It's still trading for around the same value, dollar-wise. What else? We'll take tier 1 off. We'll just look at the floor prices before we move on to tier 2. Yeah, so the floors are all up, aside from tier 3 and tier 4. They've come down a bit. We'll get to those in a minute. So tier 2. Tier 2's been pretty interesting because I bought a tier 2 plot a couple of months ago now, and I got it for just 30% of an ETH, and the minimum price for tier 2 land is 41% of an ETH. That's actually come down a little bit because it was around 45% of an ETH a few days ago. So still moving up, but not as much as it was a few days ago. There's quite a few plots of land there too. Quite a few. There, someone's listed a whole bunch of new land by the looks of it. I wonder if we have a look in here, see if it's the same person. We'll close that. Yeah, this guy's been dumping all his land. We'll get to this guy in a minute. I'll just leave that one open for a second. See this one here. No, that's a different wallet. Okay. But we'll leave this one open because I've seen this guy pop up over the last few days. So yeah, tier 2 lands, if you're patient, like tier 1 and 2 have both gone up quite a bit in the last since the private beta released. So that might be newer investors taking an interest in the game, just wanting to get a piece of the action. And they're more likely to just market buy and be less patient if they don't have a foot in the door already. So we'll have a look at tier 3s. Now this one's very interesting. So 2 weeks ago, tier 3s were listed for 1.3 ETH. Now we've seen quite a big change in value here, 1.18. That is really good. Let's just have a quick look on this one, see who's the holder. No, new seller. Okay. Yeah, so price has come down significantly, much further than I thought it would on the tier 3s. So, yeah, good time to buy. Good time to buy for tier 3s, if you ask me. And then tier 4s, yeah, they've come down too. So they were all around the 4.7 ETH mark, and now there's a couple well below that, 4.2, 4.5. So what I discovered earlier in the week, a couple of days ago actually, if we look at most recent sales, we've got a tier 4 that sold for 2.5 ETH, another tier 4 that sold for 2.5, another one that sold for 2.3, almost 2 flat. You've got a tier 3 that sold for 80% of an ETH, and again over here and here, and it's all the same wallet. He is dumping all of his land, and I have no idea why he's dumping it so cheap. It's well below market rate. If we go in here, which is the land we just checked out, that's the same wallet, I'm pretty sure. We'll open one of them up just to make sure. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so that's the same wallet. So if you're one of the lucky people who managed to scoop up whoever this guy is who's dumping his land, you are very lucky. I'm a bit jealous. I would have definitely bought at that price myself. So I don't know whether his bulk selling his land has sort of tanked the land prices a little bit lately. Because what happens with NFTs, because they move so slowly, everyone sort of sells the floor level, and if an impatient seller comes to the market and sees all this land and he wants to sell, he's got to undercut, otherwise it might not sell, and then someone else undercuts him, and then that might not sell, and then someone else undercuts him. So everyone's constantly trying to be the floor when there's a lot of sellers. So, but this guy went in really low to begin with, so I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I would be keeping an eye. If you are in the market for land, it looks like he's still selling more land, so I'd be keeping an eye on that just in case there's a deal that might pop up, and I don't think they're lasting very long, so they get sold. It looks like he's wisening up a little bit and charging a bit more for his land. If we take off this lowest price, actually one thing we can check out, you can actually click on their account name and have a look at what assets he's got in his wallet, in his Illuvium wallet anyway. He's holding a ton of fuel, so he must have had a pretty big collection of land. Maybe he's just downsizing before the game goes live. See how much land he's got left. Yeah, still quite a bit there. So I'd be keeping an eye. If you're interested in land, I'd be keeping an eye on it because he's got more land and he might sell it soon. Oh, this one's for sale. Some of it's already listed. Unlisted. That one's for sale. That one's for sale. Yeah, there's a lot more. Oh, hang on. 1.8. Yeah, that's pretty cheap. Yeah, so he's the one selling all the cheap land. If it wasn't for him, the land prices wouldn't have come back so far, I'd say. So that's very interesting. All right, what else are we going to look at? So that's land in a nutshell. What we will do in the future is look at fuel costs and stuff like that. I mean, at the moment, it's only testnet costs, so it doesn't really mean a great deal. But what we can see is the kind of prices they're going to charge per fuel. What we can't see is how much fuel you're going to be able to generate on a new plot of land. So this number doesn't mean anything without knowing how much each plot of land generates and how much they can sell it for. So we won't spend too much time looking at this. What is interesting though, you can jump on the testnet marketplace and purchase alluvials and other resources, and you'll see your stage 3 alluvials are all selling really well. This is the recent sale list for alluvials. You see this, with the exception of lynxes, they don't sell for very much. But this Cuckoorath, 1.5 ETH, Gyro, 1.7 ETH, these are all sales, so they've sold. Here's a Null for 5.25 ETH. So if you are lucky enough to get some extra stage 2 or stage 3s, it's a good way to fund your testnet ETH just by selling one or two of them on the market, because they are selling if you're reasonable about the price you charge. Yeah, so that's it. That's the Illuvium economic update. There's not too much to talk about. One thing we didn't cover last, or a fortnight ago, that I meant to talk about was if you're planning on staking Illuvium, or you think you might want to stake Illuvium in the future when rev diffs come alive, because we don't really know how much you'll earn from revenue distribution, but if it is significant, you're going to want to stake your ETH, your ILV, and you don't want to do it in the heat of the bull run, because you won't be able to unstake straight away if the market changes and you need to sell. So my recommendation is to stake now so that you can finish your staking period as soon as possible and be able to remove your ILV before the bull market ends. So that way you've got the option of withdrawing and selling if you need to. If you leave your staking too late, or you wait till RevDiz starts, you might get stuck in the market and have to hold everything through the bear market. So that's something to think about. Not financial advice. I'm a bit lucky in that my stakes have all finished, so I can withdraw them whenever I want. And the fantastic thing about staking ILV is you keep earning interest even though you've finished your stake period. So you're free to unstake at any stage once you've finished up that staking period, and you keep earning interest, which is really amazing. Anyway, that's it for the Illuvium economic update number 2. We're only going to do these monthly from now on, or maybe we'll change to the start or the end of a month. But for now, we're done with the update until at least 4 weeks, and we'll see how the market changes then. So we should be in open beta by then, which might bring some more eyeballs. Anyway, catch you all soon. Streaming on YouTube if anyone wants to jump in and hang out while we do some overworld runs. Catch you later.